theater and Talking It Out Festival needs a community support because theater's in a very weird place right now. I mean, people have been saying theater is dying for what, 4,000 years now, and it's survived all of this stuff. As long as you have an idea and people willing to collaborate with you, or just people willing to watch you do your own thing, that's very important. Switching this into a virtual festival, it sucks that we can't be in the room with these people because being in the room is really how they get you. But virtually, we can expand the reach. And touch as many human beings as possible and hopefully change their minds for the better. If it's not for them, I encourage them to question why that is about themselves. Not everybody has to agree with me. Not everybody has to agree with us. But the important thing is to listen and process it. And a lot of people just don't want to do that. Theater is one of the ways that we can do that. Yes, like voting is the most direct way to change your world, but art and entertainment and stories, that's what changes people's minds. My name is Marcus Gorman. If you want to know more about my monologue, watch this video about the Talking It Out Festival. I heard about the Talking It Out Festival I'm part of the Playwright Submission Helper, which I'm sure a lot of playwrights follow that, and the Dramatists Guild. Every month they put out calls for new projects, for new submission processes. And this is a monologue I actually wrote 6 years ago, so I had to sort of reread it to reacclimate myself to it. But the Talking It Out Festival is about mental health. I'm a proponent of very openly talking about mental health. I luckily had therapy growing up. I used to have math nightmares when I was a kid, so I had to see a shrink for that. I've seen psychologists and psychiatrists. I openly was on anxiety medications for 12 years, and I'm very glad I was on them. I'm no longer on them, but I needed them when I was a teenager, and now I don't. The Talking It Out Festival helps us talk about these things that even a generation ago was seen as gauche to talk about. No, we should talk about mental health. We can solve these crises if we just had empathy for other people, and I think this festival is a way to build that empathy. This story came from, so I am in Seattle. I've been here since 2009, and I like to go on very long walks. Seattle is rainy, but it's not as rainy as people make it out to be. If it's raining, most of the time it's just a drizzle. So on a long walk through Ravenna Park in North Seattle, I stopped at a baseball diamond, and there was this teenage woman who just would not stop talking to me. But after a while, I realized what she's saying is very interesting. This is a perspective on mental health. She clearly needed some kind of help and was running away from it, so I did my best to help her. But also, she is in control of her own life, and it is not my job to police that. But I did listen to her, and then her words and her mentality and her perspective stuck with me. And so a couple of years later, there was a local festival called the Seattle Play Series, where each series they talk about a certain neighborhood in the city, and they put out a call for 1X. And so I thought I would use this experience to talk about the homelessness in Seattle and the homeless people on Capitol Hill, which was our arts district, our LGBTQ district, and currently is the newest district of pricing people out of their homes because tech and biotech has risen up, and Capitol Hill is the cool place to be. The monologue is pretty short. It's only 2.5 pages. It is about a 16-year-old outside of a nightclub on Capitol Hill. She is homeless. She has clearly been through some mental stuff, and it is trying to build empathy for this person who Seattle is in the midst of a very large conversation that I'm sure other cities are around the world, that how do we treat the homeless? And a lot of people kind of don't treat them with any respect or empathy. And they say, oh, they're just all on drugs. Oh, they just don't want to be in shelters. Well, no, at best, like 15 to 25% of homelessness is caused by drugs. The rest is a myriad of other things. If you're gay, if you're poor, if you're in this strange neoliberal city that has liberal ideas but is fiscally more conservative. And I wanted to just give a perspective to teen runaways. Say shelters currently are unsafe for a lot of people. They are unsafe for children. They are unsafe for women. They are unsafe for people with medications. And we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it's very unsafe for them. So a lot of people say, oh, they shouldn't be on the street. They should go into the shelters. They can't. It is not safe for them. They will get hurt or die. So I keep saying build empathy. But this woman, this teenage woman, the 16-year-old, really opened something up in me, and I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about that. I would like the audience to get out of the monologue the idea that we do not know everything, that we just need to listen to people, and there are various reasons why people might be runaways or homeless if they don't have a good support system at home. It's also slightly about deaths in the music industry, but that's a tiny little thing kind of woven in. I want people to understand that just because they are coming from any positions of privilege, there is a way to help people out. I don't know how much I'm helping just by putting it out there, but I hope it encourages somebody to work a soup kitchen or to vote for the proper representatives to put money into solving the problems that cause homelessness instead of criminalizing homelessness and criminalizing poverty. That is not the way to go. It has never really been proven to work. Places like Los Angeles, where I lived for a little bit, say in Santa Monica, which is technically outside of LA's laws, when I was there, they outlawed panhandling, and they thought that would solve the problem. It just moved the problem. Instead of making being poor a crime, let's figure out what pushed them into poverty in the first place. And I can assure you, through statistics and otherwise, it is not simply they do drugs. For the upcoming Talking It Out festival, I'm looking forward to seeing other perspectives on mental health, because I think it's very important to talk about this stuff and not just hide it under the rug. That's how these problems spiral out. And I want to see other perspectives, because I've been a West Coaster my whole life. I'm from Berkeley. I went to college in LA, and now I live in Seattle. These are all blue states. They are all neoliberal in some ways or another. Some are better at social issues than others and social programs, but I want to see how people discuss mental health around the country and even outside of it, in places where maybe there isn't so much money, or there is a different welfare system, or there is a different shelter system, or from states where they just don't give a crap about any of this. I want to hear from them, and I want to learn more. The day I stop learning is the day I die. I want to learn. I want my mistakes to be pointed out to me. And I might find it here, and I'll evolve as a human being and as a writer, and hopefully I can change at least one person's idea, and that will be a good deed that I hope spirals into something bigger and better. But I am, of course, just one person who grew up in relative privilege, and I want to do my best. People should watch the Talking It Out festival to get more empathy for the world. I keep using that word empathy because it's the right word. I hope they understand where different people are coming from, and that we can talk about these things and we don't have to suppress them. You know, if you suppress your emotions, they turn into violence, they turn into other kinds of mental illnesses. All this stuff is treatable in one way or another. And I hope that people get that from the festival, and I hope it continues on in perpetuity. So, or until we solve all the problems, and maybe it can stop, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I hope you enjoy the monologue. I hope it inspires something in you to reach out, to give. If you come across a person on the street and they ask for money, don't be an ass about it. I'm sure you have money in your pocket. You say you don't have money in your pocket. I've been guilty of that in the past, and it was a bad thing I used to do. Even $1 helps. Even just a smile helps. That might be a patronizing thing to say, but sometimes they just want to be seen and interacted with, to know that they are not invisible in this very strange society we call the United States of America. My name is Marcus Gorman, and I hope you seek out the Talking It Out Festival online, and however you can watch it in your own home, on your phone, on your computer, on your smart TV. Please come. If you enjoyed what we were talking about now, there is more of that.